Neo Shinobi Vendetta, session 1 of 2. This is a crazy mishmash world. It is my blender version of anime, ninja, cyberpunk tropes. It is all about being sweet ninjas and doing awesome stuff. Okay, so that's the way you should coach all your actions tonight. When you think about actually what you're going to do is go big. Okay, you have a certain amount of scale in what you do here. And what it is this is a weird, like many animes, it kind of looks like our world, but we know it's not. And there are all these different districts, and the city goes on for, hundreds of miles. There are different, zones and neighborhoods that are connected together. And they're kind of you might have a bright, glistening salaryman district right next to slums. It's all overseen by the high orbital Mikado, but the Shogun, the illustrious Shogun down here, takes care of things for the Mikado. Nobody goes up the beanstalk to do that. This is Fate. You will see me playing Fate. I run Fate differently than a lot of people. I do it pretty light. So you may see that as we go along. So if you're watching at home and you know Fate, you may cringe. I've had that happen before where people critique me on my videos, but there we go. I don't care. This is the way I run it. Anyway, our team are Cyber Ninja. They belong to a clan called Igana. There are a number of different ninja clans in this world. And they are essentially, the 5 major clans are kind of tools of these corporations. They work for the corporations and operate under their auspices and things like that, but behind the scenes. Of course, they're still whispered about legendary ninjas. But here's the thing. Our ninjas, our group knows that that's not the way it's supposed to be. That there was some betrayal, some change at the higher ups. That some people at the top of the sort of the ninja thing tied you guys to the corporations. You're supposed to be independent operators. You're supposed to be ninjas, fighting for a certain amount of justice, doing what you want, that kind of thing, rather than being corporate tools. Now, you guys are a minority within your particular ninja clan, the Igana. Okay, so you can't actually even tell your fellows that you know this truth because you don't know who to trust. But there are people who do know, and you've got a cell that you all belong to, and they find out about things that can help you reveal or undercut the people who've done this, the conspirators at the top, and they send you out on these missions. You use a certain amount of your clan's resources, but then you go out and you're kind of on your own because you can't reveal to them that that's exactly what you're doing. We're going to introduce the characters here in a bit. Everybody's kind of picked that. I'm going to ask them to tell me their name, to describe to me how it, how they picture themselves looking. I'll talk a little bit about mechanics before we get started, and we'll kind of go over that. Everybody has stunts and ninja powers. It's all on their sheets. We're using a Google spreadsheet for that, so they all have that. So I will go around and do that, and then I will tell them how we're going to structure this session. So let me go to the spreadsheet and pull that up for myself. And let's start with our Master of Guile, because I'm going to be working left to right along that sheet there. So, Christo, tell me about your sweet ninja.
My sweet ninja? Well, the image I'm choosing, and you'll see when I get this up, I'm choosing the image of the actress that plays Fish on Gotham.
Okay.
Because she's fantastic. And and part of the reason I'm playing into this is that I'm a master of deception, and as I understand it, camouflage and disguise.
Yes.
To the level of my cybernetics allow me to basically change the way I look.
Yes, you can do that. You have the ability to. You probably got a disguise kit. And you have a mastery over that. So where other people could throw that on, and pass for a bit, you can do it Mission Impossible style. You have the ability to pull that up and do that quickly. Your particular skill set comes with what they call mimetic overlays, which means that you have generations of ninja knowledge, personality stuck into your head. Okay, that's how you get these
Oh.
powers. It comes from those sort of skills and training there. Certain other abilities, come from devices, but that's your basic sort of the reason to have the source of your powers there.
I think that sort of plays into how I was picturing her, because I was sort of picturing her as almost getting lost in her disguises.
Ooh, I
Sometimes
like
not
that.
really knowing who she is.
Very nice, very nice. You will note that everybody has a refresh of 2, which means you start with 2 fate points. When we get to the mechanics, I'll talk about what that means. At any point, you can write in another aspect for your character. We've got 2 blank spots for it. If you do that, I'll give you another fate point. Okay, so that's a resource. Come up with a cool thing. Just say you do it, I'll give you that resource. So that's a neat thing. All right, let's talk to Fraser, aka F Dog. So tell us about your character, who they are.
Anton is he's got like from what I'm seeing for the nanoswarm base, I'm assuming I don't know if anyone's seen Naruto, but there's a dude who has like these bugs in his suit and it does things for him. That's what I'm sort of picturing, is I'm like this kind of not social outcast like that person, but like I have all these nano machines hidden on my person. And if you see my picture, I look very cool. I have very like interesting robes going on, and I have dark skin, light eyes. If I could have this giant gun in the picture, that would be nice.
You have that giant gun. Oh my God, look at that. And it'll collapse up and you can pull it out.
Oh, I like this game. How much is it? Yeah, get Lowell to run your games, kids. But yeah, so I have this nanoswarm base that I can do a bunch of different things with, like actually construct and rebuild things and fly and disintegrate things. And apparently I'm a fast friend with people. And I have a data surveyor, which at first I thought I had a cute eye, but it's an acute eye. So that's good.
Awesome. Awesome. I love it. Let's move on to our lumbering mountain of poison. Rich, please tell us.
I'm playing the lumbering mountain of poison, who is known as Mobius Takanoko. He is actually fan service for people who are super fans of the video game SSX Tricky. So if there's any point where we can work a snowboard into a crazy scheme, it will happen. And his skill set is that he has body shaping and a great deal of armor. So he can also bend bars and lift gates, which I think is a thing from a Dungeons and Dragons game or something. So he can do that.
So the Geno Colony, that's kind of a thing borrowed from the Blade of the Immortal and from Tenra Bancho Zero. I've had a couple of people describe different ways. How do you picture that? What is a genocology colony like that's inside of you?
I do not know, because I don't know any of the things you've just referenced.
All right. Is it like The Thing? Or is it...
Sure. It's
okay.
like The Thing.
All right. You do all this creepy body shaping. It's awesome. That is you. Let us go on to our fourth member of the team. Michael, please tell us about your character.
Yeah, I'm playing as Daija. She's big into snakes, and she's psychic. Wow, 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 wow. And this seems to be sort of like a natural telekinetic psychic power that has been sort of developed over various generations.
Oh, that makes sense.
Technological creation here. Maybe she's had some sort of like psychic induction training or education by the clan from a young age, sort of thing, like Men Who Stare at Goats style, What's on this card? Is it a star or a cup or whatever?
They spotted your talent and put you through those kinds of rigorous trials and training.
Yeah, and apparently they trained me like how to like snipe people too, along the way, because she has a really good aim score. So she has a good aim. Also, my cat is opening and closing my Xbox as we speak. If you hear a little ding in the background,
I was wondering.
But yeah, that's Daija.
Awesome. So we have 4 characters here. We're playing Fate. Okay, and let me tell you the what you need to know rule wise here. And of course, I've managed to close the. There's the role for your party. So whenever you do something in Fate, you tell me what you want to do, and I'll say, okay, that looks like this skill off your skill list, and then you're going to roll those 4 Fate dice. You see that I've got them pulled up on the roll for your party. You can make your own little set if you'd like you have your own one. You roll those 4 Fate dice. If there's nothing on it, it's a 0. If there's a minus, it's a -1 to whatever your skill was. Each plus is a plus to that. So right now with my roll, I've got 2 minuses and a plus. I would take my skill, subtract 1, and that's the value I'm going for. That's how much I have. That's the skill number. Okay. Now, if you don't dig that, you've got a couple of ways to fix it. You've got fate points. Okay. You can spend a fate point and invoke one of your aspects and say, hey, I think that's that I'm the whispering coiled serpent, and so my attempt to bluff here is better. I'll spend a fate point. If you do that, you get a +2, or you can re-roll. It's almost always better to get the +2, just for future reference, unless you've rolled really terrible on your roll. That's the basics of it. The other thing that fate points can be used for is fate points can be used to activate some of your powers. You've got that on thing. They can also be used. I think that's the basic uses of it. Now, having said that, you've just got 2 of those. You've got a couple of ways to get more. One way is you've got a thing in red, your trouble aspect. If you say, hey, this is going to cause me a problem right here, and we play it out, and it does cause you a problem, then I'll give you a fate point for that. Occasionally, I will say, hey, let me offer you a fate point for you to screw up here, okay? I don't usually pay that much attention. That's called a compel in standard Fate. I don't like to do it. I like the players to choose it, okay? So you keep an eye on that. I'm not going to track that for you. Standard actions in this are like attack, defend, discover, trying to find information, overcoming an obstacle. And then the other thing is this game does support you helping each other. It's called creating an advantage in this. You create an aspect like you want to put somebody at disadvantage, you put unbalanced on them. And essentially that's then a fate point that people can use, a free one, to get 1 free invoke off of that. That's the basics of that. Just that you can, if you want to support somebody, we'll figure out how it looks and we'll do that. Sometimes scenes and places will have aspects on them already that you can use. And I'll tell you if that happens.
That's stress.
Stress. So stress is your hit points. Basically, damage works like this. If someone's attacking you, and you roll a defense roll, I subtract what my attack value was from your defense. Whatever's left over is how much damage you take. So shifts of damage, hit points, that kind of thing. Stress is that. If you take a whole bunch of stress, and you might, because there's some badasses, you can negate that a little bit. You see you've got consequences on your character sheet. You can fill those in with a thing. They're called, what is it? I think I have them. Thank you, multiple windows. And having that. Sorry.
Consequences or conditions?
Conditions, thank you. A lot of different terminology here. So conditions, you can write in a condition and subtract either 2, 4, or 6 points from the damage. Might not ever have to do that. But if you do, that's a thing that's going to hang around on you that people can use against you. Like, a broken wrist, things like that, or, bruises. Those essentially are the kinds of stuff that you would do there. Where it says stress B, that means that's just your base stress, so you can track what your permanent stress is. Any questions about those mechanics or rules?
I'm better at low skills in this, right? No?
Nope. Whatever you have a higher number in is you're going to add that to your roll, so you want to go high.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I must
We
have-
compare totals. That would have been neat to watch. Yes. If okay. So here is the deal. What's going to happen is this: is in just a moment, I'm going to give you the mission. I'm gonna set it up. I'm gonna going to give you the background of the mission, and then you four are going to have access before you go in to, of course, all the sweet ninja resources and things like that, information gathering, all those kinds of things. And that's the point at which you can ask me anything, and ask me or set up something outside. I'm going to give you, once I've done describing the mission and giving you the basics, I'm going to give you 15 minutes to do that. Okay? 15 minutes real time to ask me those questions, and then you're in. Okay? And when you're playing, when you're actually in on the mission, when we get rolling on that, you can always do a flashback. Like, I think I set this up ahead of time. And just like we do in Blades in the Dark, you can make a roll to see if you've got it. If it's something obvious, if it's easy, then yeah, you can have it. Or I might even say, yeah, spend a fate point. The other thing I want to mention about fate, because I just realized I should mention this, if when you're trying to do something like, let's say you're trying to sneak past something and you don't roll as well as you want to, you don't have the fate points, things like that, you can succeed at a cost. And costs are things like we increase the heat, like you alert people, but they don't spot you right now, or you take some stress, that kind of thing. So you can always say, hey, maybe I can take this as a cost to get this done. Any questions about that before we start?
Did you talk about corruption and I just sort of glossed over it?
Oh, so at the very bottom of your sheet, you'll notice you've got these corruptions. If you ever roll 4 pluses or 4 minuses, and that's your end roll, then your corruption activates. And it's different. We kind of describe it as a flavor to the scene of what occurs. So that's what that is.
So if we crit, we have corruption.
Yes, because you kind of overdo it.
Okay.
But we'll see if that happens. And we're going to play until we get done or until we run out of time. All right, that's how it's going to work. You guys are going to be sweet. Who's the leader? Michael Barford covers his eyes.
The psychic. The psychic is because they can see the future and stuff.
Yeah, I don't think it would be Smoke because Master Deception and changes so much. I just don't think that's in her nature.
So you want the person that hears echoes in their head to be the leader? Okay.
Don't we? Wait, I think Smoke has even more echoes in her head. She's both impersonating other people, and she has all these ninja ghosts in her head.
Well, if that were true, that would be your trouble.
It kind of is. Don't stop deceiving.
Okay, so you were lying to me. Well played. Sure, I can attempt to lead.
All right, Anton, you are the leader. So you get word from your cell leader within the ninja complex that you're to come to a secret meeting point. You just bring your chosen key operatives, the other ones in the know, and to that location. And so you will arrive with them, and there's an older ninja by the name of Hirobumi, and he says, we have a target. We have a very narrow timetable. It's a difficult operation. We believe that within a certain amount of time, others will be alerted. So the mission that we need to undertake has to be done quickly. It has to be done with some measure of subtlety. And by measure of subtlety, I mean just don't get seen on video or anything like that. Just be careful.
And that's where the camera pans to Mobius.
Undoubtedly. You are to target a corporate operative named Nanami Kumagi. she's a CEO. And she is out and moving, which gives us an opportunity. She has recently arrived at a place called Cascading Flowers Heaven. Cascading Flowers Heaven is a domed neighborhood. It's an entertainment arcology. It is supposed to be the happiest place in Neo Kyoto. It is a recreation and entertainment facility for salarymen and their families. It is a huge area with all kinds of districts contained within it. There is of course, massive castle at the center, as I understand it. That's been built up right now. The master of Cascading Flowers is a man named Phoenix Kazan. He is the originator, creator, and a CEO of Cascading Flowers. He has invited your target, Kumagi, to the wedding of his daughter. So there's a wedding going on. Kazan has restructured the central area of Cascading Flowers into this castle to do a kind of classic imperial theme there. We need Nanami Kumagi's head. Nanami Kumagi has a standard operating brain tape, but also destruction circuit with the brain tape. We need you to sever the head, and within 5 seconds, we're going to need you to put it in a containment bag. That will stop the brain from being destroyed, will stop the brain tape from being destroyed. So you need to get into Cascading Flowers. You need to find Nanami Kumagi. You need to cut off her head. You need to retrieve her head, and you need to get out.
Okay.
I think we know better than to ask any questions.
You should have standard access to the clan's resources for the time frame to do the standard investigation, and then I will wipe traces of that from the system. So you have a tightened timetable for that, but you will hopefully be able to do it with a plume. And he will nod to you and dismisses you.
Okay. And we disappear into the night.
Yes.
With our nanotechnology bullshit.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. You literally have 15 minutes to ask me questions about the situation.
Okay. What is the best way to get inside?
It looks to you like the easiest egress is going in as a salaryman. I mean, that's the easiest one. You can easily get stuff to spoof the security systems and things like that. There are standard tracers and trackers that they implant, so you can do fast passes while you're in there. It may not give you the best access. There are a couple of other ways possible in. There are sanitation systems. And then there are, of course, the cast members and the staff live in a slum neighborhood next door and go in through underground systems to get inside. And that might get you into more vital areas. So those are 3 possible options. Easy to more difficult. The more difficult ones may give you better access.
Right. Okay. Anyone else?
Next question.
What kind of opposition should we be expecting?
Undoubtedly, he's going to have essentially cyber samurai. He's got a staff of those on site. He definitely has Yojimbos will be available for key members. And when you look into it, you'll realize there's also the possibility that there may be rival ninja. Essentially, they belong to another CEO. There's a chance that one of your rival clans will have some members on site.
And to clarify, are we currently operating outside of the ninja clans, or have we not come to that point yet?
You are operating from inside, but you're a black cell, so your own clan doesn't know what you're doing.
Does our boss know? Is he part of the cell?
Yes, he is. He's the one who assigned this to it. Yeah. So this is all part of that.
Okay.
This is vital information to reveal the conspirators.
How? I mean, I'm assuming we're pretty bloody, and we don't. How much do we care about innocence?
That's entirely up to you. How you wish to play that. Of course, too much collateral damage will lead to some questions. So obviously, a massacre using your particular technologies might be a problem. But this is vital.
Right. And Sophie's question was, "Are we the good guys?" So that's sort of what I'm asking. I guess it's a gray area.
Yeah, you are the good guys, so you don't want to do too much awfulness.
Okay, thanks. That helps. Can I, since I can do disguise, any suggestions for what might be the best disguise to take going in? I was thinking of maybe knocking out and taking over somebody that's going to be like the primary caterer or something like that, because I might get us good access. Or would there be somebody that's in charge of like costumes and makeup? That might be somebody that's closer to the bride and the special guests.
So two possibilities there. One would be to locate who is in charge of the catering, the specialty on-site catering for that, and get somebody, either them or somebody close to them, or else you want somebody who is handling sort of the entertainments, the hollow costumes and all of that stuff that are serving at the wedding. Is that my understanding?
Yeah, I think the hollow costumes is where smoke would go.
Okay, but then you can get a tag on that person such that you can intercept them. Okay, so assume that you've got their appearance and you can take their place.
Cool.
Next question or resource you want to have.
Well, I understand there would be a lot of video surveillance probably in place because this is an entertainment arcology. We'd like to stay off that if we can. Is there any sort of either infrared reflectors or something that we could use that could help mask our presence from the hollow vids or whatnot?
Absolutely. We'll assume that for sort of passive recorded video, you have essentially when people go back to review it, you're a blur. They can't get any distinguishing features on you. It doesn't necessarily affect active security, like people looking through the monitor might see something, but it will destroy any records. Okay, you all have that.
And do we have to say what weapons we want right now too, or
no? You have whatever weapons you want.
Okay.
Tell me what you have.
I don't know.
Get that big gun. Got a couple of swords.
Yeah, I definitely need a sword if I need to chop off a head and put it in a bag.
Any weapons you have are, I mean, you obviously can produce anything with your nanoswarm. Anybody else has essentially weapons that can fold out or concealed, can get through security, things like that.
What about a monofilament garrote that can chop off a head?
Okay, you got it. So on one hand, can pull it across. Yep, got it.
Is there? I don't know. This is silly. I guess I won't do that. But every time I'm playing one of these games where we're infiltrating something, I want to like be in an airplane and jump out of it and like skydive into it. And if there's a dome, if we have these like awesome technologies, maybe we can like vibrate at a frequency where we go through the dome and then like land on the castle and then mess people up and stuff.
Dude, why not? I think Fish would say, dude, that sounds like you just want to be the entertainment. You could just make a dramatic entrance and be right in the center in the middle of everything.
Might be a little less than subtle, but you certainly could do that. You're talking about the aerial stuff, of course. The dome is thick, yeah, you probably could get a thing to get through it. They also have other aerial things. They of course have robot balloons that move around, that do projections, that move around in the air. So there's probably dozens of those moving around and being used to project things and display stuff and give information and all of that kind of thing.
If you want to be a distraction boss, that's fine, but I'd prefer to stick to the shadows.
Yeah, I could be a distraction. I've always wanted to do this thing.
Fair enough.
And I think Smoke will say, I think that can work because we just need a patsy. Because, for instance, if I am the person that does the killing blow, I can look like anybody else. So we can foist that off on some. So I will be, in a sense, the distraction. And we put the head in a bag and give that bag to somebody else. We have a separate bag. And then I leave looking like somebody that our clan really doesn't like so that they get the blame.
Interesting.
You're very ambitious, Smoke, but I don't know if we should go around presuming the will of the orbital Mikado, guessing whom should be targets of any sort of issues. Perhaps we should check with our boss.
In terms of people that you could pin it on that you think would be legitimate, any kind of security people that are on site would be a reasonable person. They probably have a head of security. That person is a good one. Or if you can identify opposition ninja within the area, those are also people to pin blame onto.
Okay, so then I guess for information and data that I'd want data on like who would the likely opposition people be there, so that I might have their images or just like the list of being able to go through and see who they are, so that I have, so we'd be able to identify them quicker, so we have a good patsy.
Absolutely, that makes sense to me. So the security chief is named Steiger Heba, and he's a veteran cyber samurai. He sticks close by his CEO, Phoenix Kazan, but he's also in charge of general security around in there. You're not sure who the security person is for Nanami, but you expect if there are two different security teams, there's probably going to create some tension there, a possible rift. In terms of the opposition ninja, you believe that it's probably going to be Zanagiri, otherwise known as the Syndicate of Wasps. They tend to work with bioengineered insect implants.
And maybe
if you see Ninja Scroll, the swarm guy is sort of how they work.
Okay, and then I want to know the exact spot to hit the dome, I guess.
Okay. So we'll assume that if you land, they can give you a one-shot, essentially vibrational phase device. You have to time it right. You have to hit it just before you pass through it, or else there's a serious danger to your molecular structure. Essentially, you can do it so that you can land atop the castle at the highest point there. You have 7 minutes.
Rich, do you have anything?
What is the wedding party's color scheme?
You can get that. You can get a full rundown. It looks to you like they're doing classic Imperial stuff. Since you'll check the records and you'll be able to get all of the dress and things like that, including the armor for the samurai guardsmen and things like that. You expect everybody's going to look sort of classical anime armor and stuff. So it with that color scheme and heraldry in mind, you could probably tune your holo disguise to blend in there.
Who are the 3 most notable people on the watch list who are not allowed at this wedding?
That is a good question. I would say that Kazan's son, a guy named Memory Kazan, is not allowed. I would say that Kunagi's ex-husband, Stan Kumagi, is not allowed. And there's probably a anti anti-corporate agitator who is sort of a unionist who has gotten into cascading flowers before and caused disruptions. And he is essentially a kill on sight person. And his name is Deadlord.
Mobius, I like the way you think. Are you planning on getting them into the party as a distraction?
No, you will probably be one of them at some point.
You can get full idents and images for those three and have that in your sets. Don't forget, you're also going to want to get out.
I want a thing that we push the button on it and then we go shooting into the sky through the dome. No, I'm just kidding. Maybe just like an exits through the, maybe multiple exits. Can we set up that? Like one through the sanitation and then like that's like B and A is going out with maybe just dressing as salarymen or something. Whoever just can come and go freely.
Okay. So essentially you've got a standard set of salaryman disguises. You expect that when this goes down, security is going to go tight and they're not going to let anybody in and out until they've done it, but you may be able to blend in and hide. B is to go through the sanitation systems. You'll get somebody on site who will set up essentially tanks and essentially bypasses to be prepared that if you can get down to the lower levels, the water supply and stuff, you can use that to get out through there.
Yes, I would like to get that set up and blueprints of the sewer system and, or at least that to the cascading flowers heaven.
Okay, so you get full blueprints of the sewer system, the water connections, all of that, and essentially the sort of industrial works that are underneath it. Most of that area is going to be run by essentially robots, that kind of thing. Will be down there working those areas.
Okay.
3 minutes. Anything else?
You said we already had these idents, right?
Yes, got them.
Okay. Lots of ammo.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Got plenty of ammo.
This is like nervous and that like the opposite way of Shadowrun.
What about med packs or something like that?
Yeah, you can have standard med kits that will stop bleeding and things like that. That's probably taken into account in the sort of general healing, because any damage you take is going to be pretty bad.
And I assume we'll have access codes for any of the areas we might need to get into.
Oh, you want access codes? Yeah, you can get access codes for the areas. Probably access codes will be available for any of the public areas and any of the sort of the cast member areas. Codes for the interior of the castle itself are, you're going to have to hack that on site.
Okay. Presents for the bride? For the
sure.
couple?
What do you want?
The best.
All right. So let's assume that you can get actually a ancient legendary katana that is made with a particular meteorological metal that has been passed down generation after generation. It doesn't have a particular owner to it, but it will be a hugely valuable gift. It will, however, lose its value if it is essentially nano disintegrated and put back together.
I do feel bad about crashing her wedding, so hopefully that'll make up for it.
Absolutely. Anything else? Hearing none, we will now take a 5-minute break, and then we're going to go.
Hey, Lowell, where do you actually buy this though?
Oh, you don't. This is all this. I just made this up.
What? You should make it then, so I can buy it.
That's what Jerry says.
Yeah, like this thing would sell, man. Just commission a decent artist and you're set.
Yeah, that's true. We've actually done it with our action card system when we played it before. So,
yeah, sure seems like you know how to run it.
well, we'll see. I've still got another hour and a half, so we'll see if that actually comes true.
Well, I'm sure it is. Yeah, I even Google searched it, and the only thing that comes up is like your blog, and I was like, where do I buy it though?
It's interesting. It started as we do a game where it's sort of a multi-dimensional game where they keep moving between, and this is one of the sort of portals that the characters keep moving through. So,
well, yeah, I think I'm gonna have to keep bothering you until you make it. Every month I'll just be like, is it done yet?
John Alexander's actually played this with me at Origins. He was super fun. He's a really good player.
I don't know who that is.
He just his wife Pam Alexander did a lot of the work on Dresden Files Accelerated.
Oh, I really want to play that too, but I missed it when you ran it.
It's good. I like it that you can either lean into the mystery or kind of lean into the relationships and politics of it.
Well, Kyle knows that I want to play it because I bought it for him for Christmas.
Oh, that's a smart way to do that.
Yeah.
It's absolutely the way to handle that.
Yeah, and last Christmas I bought him Atomic Robo. So I keep buying him Fate things, and he keeps not running it.
Yeah, I actually played Atomic Robo at Origins last year with the guy who designed it.
It looks like it would be great, but
it is. And we did a Hellboy with it. We used Atomic Robo to do Hellboy.
Nice.
And that was kind of fun. That'd be PRD. All right. So we're going to get started here. It looks like Anton is kind of operating a little bit on his own. So I'm going to start with our ground crew, and we'll come back up to him in a sec. Now, if I understood it correctly, infiltration via disguise is the primary approach here. And that's right. That's what I'm hearing.
Is disguise the only means to get to the sewers, or is it possible to enter from the sewers?
You could enter from the sewers. That removes it as an egress. If you're doing that, though, probably.
Yeah, I'll come in with everyone else and maybe lead the way through the sewers.
Okay, so the three of you that Smoke, Mobius, and Daija are coming in, and I believe that Smoke. What did you set the sort of general disguise as? You're disguising yourself as
the assistant to the wardrobe person. So whoever the top, I don't want to be the top person. I want to be the person under them. So I want to take the place of that person.
So you are the vice fashioneer.
The vice fashionista? Okay, sure.
Yes.
Vice fashioneer.
So you're going in essentially then with the cast members and work and essentially staff, that kind of thing, to get into the main palace. And again, big dome, lots of different exhibits and things like that. Hotels, people are on site. There's like Oni World over here, and there's like the yokai experience, and there's water slides, and there's probably the castle itself is raised up high on what's a kind of a mountain that's made out of, they've spent the last few weeks building up this thing with holograms and steel things. And of course, they want to have a sort of a glistening theme. So they've put artificial snow all over the mountain And so you've got this snow-covered castle and then this giant snow mountain that goes down into the park itself. So that's what that looks like as you come in, the various balloons that are coming around. So you're coming in, staff. Rich, what do you think is the first problem that you guys encounter? What's the first issue that you have to deal with as you're doing that infiltration, as you're getting into the facility here? What's the first challenge?
There are a small number of the security detail who are effectively blind to cybernetics and hollow. They do basically a particular map of the human body that does not look in the visual spectrum.
Okay.
So that's our first challenge.
Okay. And you what do you think is the sign of them? Is there a particular implant they have or a particular appearance that tells you that they're like that?
Yes, they've had their eyes scooped out.
Okay. So there's just like I picture them like big fly eyes
Yes.
on there. Okay.
That's
that kind of glow. And you'll spot them. They're very expensive. You guys didn't kind of plan for this because that's a very high-end tech to get out here and deal with. So tell me, Daija, how do you deal with that situation? What's the solution that you bring to the table?
Well, don't have anything that can cloud that technology, but I can always cloud their minds with my psychic powers.
Okay. So that is your id insinuation, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to say that we're probably going to have to, these guys are built for this. So let's actually do a roll.
Sure.
Essentially, the cost for failure versus the difficulty is to kind of raise the heat, general heat and security around here for you. So what do you think? Will might be the right skill for that, essentially, if you're using your psychic powers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we've got a couple of guys. They're a serious challenge. So I'm going to set the difficulty as at 5.
Okay.
Okay.
So if I can get +1, I'll make it.
Yes.
I'm trying to re-roll them. It's like acting oddly. Okay. Every time I select them, they disappear. Maybe it's because I stacked them too tightly.
Got to know when to hold them.
+1 even. So that
+1 even.
5 total.
Okay. So you do that thing. You guys move through. You've spotted it. That might be a threat. You move past there. Get that
ninja hand symbol signals that. Yeah.
So you guys probably do have a hand code for passing those messages and information and that kind of thing. That makes perfect sense to me. So that's spotted and dealt with. Michael, what's the next? You guys get through that. You're moving into the other thing. And again, now we've got the big, imagine like airplane hangar sized facilities here with real practical effect costumes and then hollow costumes and then armor. And there's also food and catering, all that kind of stuff. You're going through this massive thing. And they're probably, all these calls and people are being shot up through pneumatic tubes to get to particular places. You'll see cast members coming down who've been, injured and they have to immediately be replaced so that they don't break the illusion, that kind of thing. And all of that is going on. It's a madhouse down here. So, Michael, what's the next challenge you face in that section there?
I think we come to a particularly crowded bunch of people who are watching this big, it's like a, is it called No, which is like the shadow puppetry, except instead of puppets of these big like robotic mecha that are like performing. And
are they almost two-dimensional? Are they like flat mecha?
They're 3-dimensional mecha.
Okay.
They really went all out, but their shadows are being cast. But it's drawn this huge crowd that's literally choking the thoroughfare. And there's no excuse me, sir, ma'am, to be done here.
Yeah, so it is delaying your timetable. You've got a pretty tight timetable to deal with that. So how is it, Smoke, that you get through that?
Well, Smoke is in charge of the holographic costumes, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Mm-hmm. Well, you are a device fashioneer.
Okay, so um, I'd like to say that she manages to cause a holographic tunnel, if you will, to appear. So sort of something that like sort of goes from where we are through them, sort of pushes the mechs maybe out of the way a little bit, or people out of the way so that we can get through, sort of creating like a red carpet effect so that we can get through. And Smoke will be leading the people saying, come on, we don't have any time for this. We have to get to the party and take care of this. Come on, everybody.
This sounds like deception to me. You're using technological tools to allow you to try to deceive and part that up. Does that seem reasonable?
Sure.
Okay. I think still a 5. We got a lot of people, but you've got the tools to deal with that. So let's have you roll deception.
Okay. That's a +1.
Okay. Again, just edging it out there. Got that 5. And so you'll move through that. So let's assume now, after you've gotten past that, you're at the essentially under levels of the castle. The big framework with the elevators, the freight elevators that go up there, and the various cranes, and they're doing repairs and things down here, sending stuff up, and it's sort of at that base level there. What's the challenge now? What's the obstacle you have to overcome?
I have to say, wait, so we said that was a challenge level 5?
Yes. Oh, I thought you rolled.
So then I didn't make it. Then I actually I zeroed out then, because that would have meant I was at rolling at a -1, right? Because I have a skill of 4, so it zeroed out.
So challenge level 5. You rolled a +1, right?
No, I have a skill of 4 and I rolled a +1, so then it would be 5 against 5, correct?
Yep. So that's fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Essentially, it's a tie. No big gain on your part. No big loss on your part. Essentially, you edge through.
Excellent.
Okay. So what's the next challenge that you have to deal with? Security is higher here. Like, actually, now you're probably seeing physical security, armed people, that kind of thing.
They're taking up too much of the space. We can't get where we need to go. I mean, it's not the same sort of thing, but we can't get close enough to the target if that's what we're initially trying to do at this point, to get in so that we have our position, so that we're positioned well for the target.
So you need to get upstairs to the castle, and essentially the means to get up there with the standard freight elevators and security is overwhelmed right now. Okay. So let me turn to you, Mobius. What can you do? How do you assist with the situation?
So these are the regular elevators.
Yeah, imagine that the castle's up, a couple 100 feet. They're the big elevators. They're moving freight things up, and people are coming up, and they're getting all that stuff up. They're clearly getting closer to maybe there's a big feast going on that they're trying to service.
We take the stairs.
Take the stairs. Okay.
Challenge for anyone who's out of shape. This is several hundred feet. No.
I can't
take the
remember
stairs.
last time a ninja took the stairs. Maybe that's what they'll least expect.
What do you think, sir?
Yeah, I'm liking the stairs, except
Okay.
maybe there's sentry guns that are set up along the stairs
Okay.
because they're closed off.
Yeah, they're essentially these are not supposed to be used here. Apparently, they've had some problems with essentially those part of the Dead Lord sort of rogue operations. So they've got this just locked down that way. So how do you deal with sentry guns?
We have to move fast.
Okay. So
Dance between the raindrops, as it were.
I like it. So you think you essentially want to get past the guns before they can activate and target you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What do you think you want to roll for that?
Yeah, I think it's an athletic skill.
Yeah.
Right? So I think that we have to be extremely fast and athletic to make our way up the stairs, grabbing handrails, vaulting up level by level, and taking cover at the appropriate time.
So you can roll athletics, or you've got that shape changing and you've got a high strength. So if you are kind of pulling people along, you can roll physique if you want.
Oh, yeah. I'll do that then. I'll just go with physique then.
All right.
Since that you're allowing it, I'll do it. Okay, I've rolled an overall -1. What is the challenge rating?
Challenge rating is 5.
Challenge rating is 5. So with my physique of 4, that takes me down to a 3. I will spend a point to take me up to 5. So I'll go ahead and spend a fate point to give me a +2 because I am body shaping.
Okay, that sounds good to me. You've also got that aspect of relentless hunter. That sounds particularly. So describe to me what that looks like.
Yes, I do have an aspect of relentless hunter. Sorry. Yeah, I'll spin it for the aspect of relentless. For some reason, I was mixing the stunts and the aspects. I apologize. What does it look like?
You got 2 people with you. You're using your abilities to get them up this staircase faster. What does that look like?
He extends his arms, Stretch Armstrong, like a round smoke, and picks her up, and just the psychic girl, she'll just have to follow in the wake. Like, she's kind of snaky, and you know, she might shed her skin. I just don't want to deal with that. And so he's grabbing on, vaulting over handrails, bouncing off of the concrete in kind of a daredevil style of acrobatic display.
All right, so when we cut from this scene, you 3 are sort of at the stairwell that's probably at the basement level of the castle. You've reached that point. You're now going to be going into the more active security of the facility when you step from here. So that's where you are. We cut to the night sky, okay? And there is a fast, essentially, a plane. You've got a pilot who's bringing you in, so you can halo jump down onto the area. You're getting yourself set to make that jump. It's a really small plane. They've got the anti-grav stuff, and he will say, the pilot will radio back to you, essentially, says, there are some interceptor drones flying close air on the dome right now. You're going to want to be careful when you go down.
Sounds like I should aim very well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he'll actually go a little higher than the original estimate to get himself out of it, and then he's going to drop you from maybe a half mile up down onto the dome through a field of attack drones. Right?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So, is this something you've done before? Is this just crazy?
I think it's crazy.
All right. So, with that in mind, you take the leap and you fall, and it's cold. You have to have that rebreather mask on because you're jumping so high. You probably got a face mask that'll frost up right away. You'll pop through the clouds as you're coming down, and you can see the dome down below. And this is a spectacular view because you can see all the different neighborhoods around and the different lights and things like that. And this sort of glow from the outside of the dome. And as you are going down, you will see there is a heavy drone swarm up here that you're going to have to pass through. How do you deal with that drone swarm?
Is it a swarm in which it would be bad to like destroy them? Like it would like alert them, right?
You think probably they're expecting a certain amount of small damage for things, given the numbers. They're expecting like an attack craft, like a VTOL, or an actual attack ship, things like that. That's what these are for.
Okay. I kind of like the idea of me weaving between these things. Like maybe I have little, like on my suit, maybe I can propel myself as if I'm in space, like through the air a little bit to like, if this was a video game, I'd be like, nudge a little left, nudge a little right, that kind of thing.
All right. That seems like you're making a defense. You can either use athletics or dexterity against them as they're going to take some shots on you. Okay. Essentially,
Okay.
micro lasers attempting to, they'll assume with your size that you're a bird or something like that. And they're doing that kind of thing. So I'm going to roll for this. So I'm at a 5.
Okay.
And go ahead and make your roll.
And so dexterity is +2.
Okay.
And I guess I'm yellow because everybody else has dice. Seems like. Or are you yellow?
I'm yellow.
Oh,
You can make your own dice.
Okay, sounds good.
Make your own dice. Make your own dice, Fraser.
Okay. Okay, here we go. I'll be the orange. And I don't know. I got 2, I guess, right? Because I got a plus and a minus, and they canceled out, and then nothing.
Okay. So unless you do something, you're going to take 5 points of damage.
Unless I do something.
You can spend a fate point to activate an aspect. You can also reduce that with a condition. But right now, you just take 5 hit points.
Okay. Can I do rebuilder to make like sort of a shield around me? Like maybe if this is like an anime, maybe I'm like spinning, careening down at like escape velocity, moving a little bit, and then the nano machines like go around my body, and then the pew pew thing hit my nano machines instead.
Yeah, I mean, but I'll take a fate point off.
Sure.
I'll key it off of your stunt, and let's reduce that by 3 points. So you just take 2 points of damage. How does that sound?
Sure, and I mark it in stress B or A.
A.
A. Cool.
Anti-drones. What's your ETA?
And now here is the thing. You are going through this field, this laser field of drones. They're firing at you. You're going down. You're trying to adjust there. You're also trying to hit your mark.
Mm-hmm.
You're also trying to hit your mark, and you're trying to activate this at the same time.
Stay on target.
Okay. So this is, you wanted a super awesome thing. It is also super awesome difficult. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So your margin of success is going to determine how on target you are or not. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So the difficulty right now is a 7 with
7.
aim.
Okay. With aim. Okay. And then I guess this is another thing where I should tag something.
You could. I would always do it after you roll, because you might roll really well.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Reroll. I rolled a +1.
Okay.
So
what does that put you at? Okay.
A 5 so with aim. Yeah.
Yeah. So right now you're off by a couple of degrees here.
Yeah.
Gonna take that?
No, I think it would be important to hit the mark of the taupe. So is that another fate point?
Spend another fate point.
Overtime.
Or
yeah,
or maybe my senses are working overtime.
Yep. If you spend the fate point, you tag that aspect and you get yourself a +2.
Okay. Cool. So I have no fate point now, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Delicious.
Yeah.
And there's that thing. You have to hit it like a meter up from the dome. You have to activate that thing. And you'll hit it and you'll go through. And you can feel all of the molecules of your body sort of phase and disrupt, and you'll feel that energy field go off. And as you pass through, of course, the thing shorts out, and you come back to regular space. And then you have to hit that chute, and you will hit the highest tower of the castle. And you're up at the top. The other group is down below, the very bottom. You are at the highest parapet. What does it look like when you land?
I want it to be like my nano machines, like Eureka 7, where I'm like skating off my nano machines, or sort of like Jupiter Ascending, if you've seen that, with like the roller blades.
Absolutely. You can catch stuff. You maybe catch one of the like balloons, the alert balloons, bounce off, use that to skate off and hit that top tower, kind of roll and go into the shadows.
Mm-hmm. And there's like that plume of dust, of course, because I'm a ninja.
Yeah. All right, let's cut back down to the basement. The three of you are down in the sublevels of this castle. We're now in a place with higher digital security, higher observational security, and guards on site. So tell me what's step one for you three? Stay together, split up. What do you want to do?
I think sticking together would probably be the best plan.
Okay.
But I know that Daija, well, some may call it cowardice, but I call it cleverness.
Okay.
I might want to prepare our exit, even though they might need help.
Okay. So you're going to spend some time, let those two go forward while you get the exit set from here?
Yes, I am the contingency plan.
Okay. Take your fate point, and let's come to our Master of Deceit and our Lumbering Mountain. Tell me what you two are doing.
I think we need to get the two different guard groups fighting against each other, or not trusting each other any less. How about we try and capture one of them and I duplicate myself as one? And then we go after the other team.
That works for me.
All right. So you two can make your way inside, and you want to try and find somebody who's isolated?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You are facing a little bit of challenge here because you've got the digital tech security up here, and you didn't have the ident codes for this area. So I'm going to need a tech roll, essentially, to get in without causing too much in the way of alert. So who wants to roll?
I've got that.
Okay.
What are you rolling? Like, what is the physical artifact that we're interfacing with?
So I imagine that you get to a console here because you want to get in and get some of the codes. So at least for the servants areas and things like that, you can move through without causing problems. So I imagine a console or display computer, that kind of thing.
Cool. Mobius will hold a hand out, and the fingers all come and separate, and then separate again into all kinds of little tiny fingers. And he just single hand types in a number of different passcodes, and that's what he's doing to try to defeat this technology.
All right. Go ahead and roll tech.
That is terrible and awful. I have rolled 3 minuses and a neutral.
Okay.
So I will spend my last fate point to re-roll.
Okay. Don't forget, you can always add an aspect to give yourself a fate point too.
Well, how much did you miss by?
I don't know what the challenge is.
So right now, challenge level is a 4.
So I have a technology of 3, and I rolled a 0 after the dice, so I have an effective 0. Adding an aspect would give me a +2, which would put me still at a failure.
Or you could re-roll.
Yeah, so I'm planning on re-rolling.
That's better.
I'm now at a 4, so I've met the challenge.
Okay. So it'll take you a little bit to do the crack, maybe a little bit of heat raised here. But you're able to get the basics and move on through. And you can move down into these areas. Down here is probably where they're doing the final catering preparations and that kind of thing, and kind of move into the kitchens down here. Big, massive, industrial production kitchens with lots of chefs working and robotic tools coming down to do the chopping. But then there's people actually, of doing the finishing ingredients and things like that. There's probably a whole baking wing that you'll move through. And you're trying to find an isolated security guard.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I think we've got two parts to this. Christo, describe to me, I think obviously you're going to be the person who's going to be finding and isolating someone, right?
Sure, I could be the distraction.
Okay. So describe to me what that looks like.
Well, I imagine ideally she's going to try to go after a male presenting guard.
Okay.
And, assuming that she's got an idea what the sexual orientation is potentially of this guard, and try and sort of play that up to try and flirt and draw the guard to the side to help her with something, something silly. She doesn't know how to use her device, or she's having problems with the key card and she needs some help.
Okay. So essentially, let's have you use deception to set up your partner to take this guy down without raising an alarm.
Right, that's the whole idea. Because of course, oops, I dropped my key card, and he'll bend over, and either I can take him out, or or Mobius can. Mobius would probably be better at it than I would.
It seems rather fun. I will let her do it unless she needs help. I'm there to back up. But
roll your deception.
Okay, here we go. Ouch. So my deception was a 4, and I rolled a -3, so I'm at +1.
Difficulty is a 2 to actually create an advantage there.
So I'm at a -1. But I can easily spend a fate point and play to concept Master of Guile. And
Perfect.
That'll flip it.
Okay. So with that level of success, you'll get one aspect that either you can invoke for an attack or Mobius can invoke on an attack to take this guy down quietly.
Oh, well, that'd be Mobius. I want to see that happen. And so I'll make it distracted. He's bending over, helping me get my key card.
Well, very well. Yeah. He will. Just looking here real quick. Yeah, I don't want to spend any points of fate that I don't have, so I think that he just clocks the guy over the head. Yeah, nice and simple.
Just standard chop.
Yep.
Okay. That sounds like fight. Not hard to take him out, harder to do it quietly, but you've got essentially and effectively a free fate point from your Master of Guile.
Awesome. That is amazing. I have rolled +4 and my fight is 3.
All right. So here's what happens, Rich. You get on this guy and you attack, but you've rolled +4 pluses. So your Geno colony is hungry. And it's going to eat him. It's going to you'll have the ident and all this his physical stuff, but what is that what does that look like?
Yeah, so was this guy from the Wasp, the Sangari, or the Syndicate of Wasps?
No, this just looks like a guard. Essentially one of the.
Yeah, I imagine that what we see is the Jin colony comes out like these inky black spots that just spray out of his nose and his mouth and his ears and out of his hands, and then they just wrap around him in seconds and consume him like piranha.
Okay, and there's that, and then there's that as his stuff falls to the floor. Okay, you know, key card, belt, clothing, all of that is there. Have you ever seen this before? Do you think, Smoke?
I think so. I don't think Smoke is fazed by this at all. And in fact, I think that Smoke thinks this is actually perfect, because I think when Mobius turns around, Smoke is naked, but looks like this guard already. And so now Smoke just has to get dressed and pick up his things. So nothing will be left behind. I like that. Clean.
So you've got a full guard suit with the full ident, and then you've got a less reliable but still present there guard disguise or staff disguise for you, Mobius.
I will take the less reliable disguise.
Okay, so I'm going to cut from you two. Again, just to remind us, right now, Daija is getting the finals set up on essentially the quick way to get down to the sewer exits, getting that set. So I'll bring you in on the next scene just after. Back to those three. Does that sound good to you, Michael?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's cut back up to the top with Anton. Anton, you're on the roof of this castle, this tower.
That's where I belong.
What do you do?
Really?
Yeah.
My job is to make a distraction, I think, to make it easier for them to get to the place, right? Like to the wherever they're essentially trying to get to.
You tell me.
I think that's the case. So, and I think what I do is this guy is obviously putting on such like a lavish party because he wants everybody else to see what is happening. Not so much that his daughter's getting married, but he wants everybody else to see like how awesome he is and everything. So I think maybe the distraction is I disrupt the communications so that like it's no longer being broadcasted, and then it makes people like scramble, right?
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And how do you do that? Describe to me what you do to do it.
If it's being broadcasted by those drones moving around, maybe I can like get to one and hack it or something.
Sure. So we'll essentially, I imagine you kind of leaping off from the tower and grabbing, landing on one of these drones.
Yeah, like maybe they keep controlling.
Okay. That sounds like a technology roll to me.
Okay.
We'll say, let's say a 3 difficulty, do better, and you'll have more effect.
Okay. Orange dice don't fail me. They fail me hard. And it's all negatives.
So now you could add another aspect to give yourself another fate point.
Oh, okay.
And that could be a thing like mad hacker skills or something like that.
Okay.
Because if you don't, then you're going to have the nano swarm is going to kind of go nuts here, and all hell will break loose. You'll create a distraction, though.
Great. I think I'll add an aspect maybe, and it'll be like X hacker extraordinaire.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll just put X hacker.
Okay. So that will give you an immediate fate point. And do you want to spend that to re-roll or get a +2?
Okay, so I'll re-roll it. Okay. Yeah, it seems like it would be hard to do worse because they're all negative.
It would be very hard to do worse. If you did worse, I would be shocked.
Yeah. Instead, I did half worse.
Okay.
So 2 nothings and 2 minuses make it technology, right, is 2.
Yeah. So you will get the communications into the broadcast system hacked and disrupted. But as you do that on the system, the weight of this will bring you down like close to one of these levels, these sort of open levels, and before you leap off, you are spotted by security. You will see a couple of the cyber samurai. They are kind of look out as you pass by, probably meet eyes to them, and you've got a choice. You can go and directly engage them, or you can just get off and get to cover. But they know that something's up.
I'll engage them.
Okay. So you will leap across. How are you doing this? What are you hitting him with?
So I was about to jump for a drone, so maybe there's like a couple off-shooting things from the castle, and I jump off, and then they're like, "Oh shit, he just jumped to go get the drone." But when they look down, I'm hanging there, and then I leap up and try to mess them up.
Okay. So that sounds like melee that you're doing there, right? Like you're using your swords?
Yeah.
So that'll be fight.
Fight
Okay.
2. Okay, so maybe it's time to roll some pluses. I rolled a minus.
Okay.
So that would be with a fight is 3, I think, right? Because I have a plus and I only have 1 negative, so it just drops my skill by 1, right?
Yep. So that'll take you to a 1, right?
Yeah. So I barely do it.
No, difficulty is a 3. You've got 2 targets. They're trained guards. You get up into them, and you hold their attention, but you're going to take 2 points of damage.
My cunning misdirect didn't work?
Essentially, they clearly have cyber-enhanced wired reflexes, and they reacted much faster than you would have expected. They're better trained. So right now you are locked up with them. You take 2 points of damage. We'll come back to you in a minute. So our Master of Disguise and our Mountain are moving along, and you will get through your comms that squeal and like broadcast line down, and then you'll hear level 6. We have an intruder. What do you two want to do? And then I'm going to check in with Michael.
So what level are we on?
You're on sub-level 1.
So we're 7 levels away.
Yeah, but you're ninja.
Yeah. Mobius says, that stupid dome plan. He just wouldn't give it up.
So do we know the layout of the different guard positions? And what we should know at this point, I would hope, is where the target and where the wedding party are at this particular time.
Yeah, no, you don't know that yet.
Oh, God.
And you don't know the guard positions either. That wasn't a question that you asked.
Okay. You have the idents of everybody. Just be somebody.
Yeah, I know. If I have dents, do I have the voice prints of the people?
That sounds reasonable to me. That seems like a disguise thing you'd have to have.
Okay, so so I should have the ident of the chief of security.
Okay.
Steiger
Heba.
Steiger Heba. So let's say I do a quick morph of my voice into Steiger Heba, and unfortunately my face morphs a little bit also, which is probably a little bit disconcerting, but okay. I'm hoping nobody else is watching except for Mobius, and he's used to seeing strange things, so sure, that should be fine. Okay. And so over the comms, I'll say, capture, not kill. Capture, not kill. We need the information. This may just be one of these wacko performers.
Awesome. Let's have you roll a deception.
Okay. The irony about this is dexterity is actually my better thing, but okay. That's deception it is. And how hard is this going to be?
I would say it's just a 3 because you've got the voice ident, so you have that. though he may realize that that his voice is coming over the comms here. So that may be an issue. Just remember that.
Dice are a wash, but I have a +4.
Okay.
My skills, the deception. So what did you say the level was?
3.
Okay, so I beat it by 1. But if I spend a fate point on it, though, I could add to the confusion.
That you could.
Okay, so I could create an aspect then and add to. That would make an aspect with a compel on it potentially, and with an invoke on it.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Else. Okay, so yeah, then I'll do that.
Okay, so right now, guys, just to tell you, right now he's created confusion in the castle, and that means there are 2 free uses of that. You can use that confusion twice. You can use that for free. Okay.
I was looking to make a confusion of the guards specifically.
Okay. Confusion of the guards.
And that will be, I guess that's also, don't stop deceiving, maybe? I don't know. It could be either. It could be trouble or it could be my concept. They both play into it. So Master of God.
Okay. I like that. That works. It works for me. So that confusion is going out there. So you stop, you get that set up. Mobius, what are you doing? You know that you've got him on the 6th level. He's engaged with guards. Chaos among the guard staff now. You don't know where the target is. Don't know what the guard rotation is like. What do you want to do?
I would like to pull the feed from the stairwell that we just traversed, showing the bullets lying on the stairs and the fact that all of the sentry guns were activated. Send that along the feed to all of the guards and tell them the dead lord has traversed the stairwell and is currently in level 1.
Excellent. I think that's a technology roll for you.
Okay, I will do that.
And you can use confusion among the guards. You've got 2 invokes of that.
That is something I'll have to use because I have rolled a -2, so I'm actually at a 1 total. But let me ask, what was the challenge?
Challenge is going to be a 3.
Yeah, so I'll have to use one of those to get that +2. So we're down to 1 use left on the aspect of confusion of the guards.
Okay.
And that just meets it.
So right now, here's what we've got going on. You've gotten that feed, got that call out. Now we're going to say the guards here on the level, sub-level 1 and level 1 are going to be moving towards that stairwell. So you're going to clear those 2 levels for yourself. Does that sound cool?
Sounds good.
Okay. Michael, tell me what you're doing.
So Daija is like in the lower levels of the sewer. She's like dragging big metal containers, and then she's like throwing out some caltrops and stuff like that. And then there's like a snake that like comes out of her ninja suit and is like hissing at her, and she says, "Abandoned them? What do you mean? They're going to thank me later once I've got all this prepared. Just give me a minute, then I'll go help them out. But I know they're just making a ton of noise up there."
So do you think we want to do you want to do a check for extra stuff from your preparations, or do we want to cut to you moving upstairs? What would you prefer?
I feel like a move that like helps set up the aspects ahead of time, you said?
Yeah.
Like that one is what I'm shooting for.
Okay. So what do you what skill do you think is appropriate for you preparing the escape route?
For creating this advantage, I'm thinking maybe stealth. Would that be
Stealth?
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Essentially, you are setting up cover for yourselves.
Yeah, either that or knowledge, whatever you think.
Okay. Let's have you roll.
Okay.
Let's say difficulty 3.
Sure. That is a total of 6. Yes.
Okay. So you've got an escape route with 2 invokes on it. Okay, so if you guys have to escape, you've got 2 bonuses to that attempt. Okay.
Okay.
I'll let you keep track of that while I cut upstairs to Frazier. Frazier, these 2 cyber samurai, essentially, they draw back. They hit the katanas that they have, go immediately kind of ghostly as they turn on the vibroblade on them. Okay, and they move back into position, and they split to essentially pin you between them. But you can tell that they're also getting calls in on their feed, and they then turn the vibroblades off. And essentially, you'll see them flip the blades around, and like they're going for non-lethal on you. So what do you want to do?
I want it to be like Indiana Jones, where they come at me with these knives and I just shoot them.
All right. So essentially, you're going to try and hit both of them.
Yeah, I got 2 guns, I think.
Okay, that makes sense to me. Describe to me what it looks like when your guns. How do they are they concealed? Is it your nanos? What does that look like?
I think they're just concealed and they just have the stock, and it looks like, if you've seen Continuum, you put the stock in your hand and then it unfolds. One of them's like a pretty big gun and one of them's like a pistol. And of course they have the trademark 2 red dots on each of them because it's a Blade Runner callback, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's have you do that aim roll. This is your attack roll on them.
Okay. So base skill is 4, and I got -1 is 3.
A 3. So with that roll, you'll take one of them out.
Okay.
And what does that look like?
I think it's like a kinetic burst. So he probably is overconfident and expects some sort of bullet or like an explosive, and he has armor for that. But instead the bullet hits him and then it like goes into bullet time and it explodes with kinetic force and he goes flying off the parapet.
We get that kind of distortion, that air distortion there of that like water effect, and then he goes flying off of the mountain.
Yeah.
We'll see him hit the snow down below. And it goes sliding on down that. The other one is going to strike at you. So you may defend with athletics or fight.
Oh, okay. I guess fight.
Okay. Go ahead and... Ooh, look at that. Nice.
What? Oh, you got a lot.
My roll, yeah.
Okay, well, I have nothing. So that gives me 2.
2. Okay, so right now you're going to take 4 shifts of damage.
Okay. 4 shifts. That's
4 stress.
You could hit the confusion of the guards, couldn't you?
He could. Do you want to hit the confusion of the guards to reduce that?
Can I... my subdual is when I do something against somebody else, I guess.
Yep.
Right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll do that then. I think it might be the only pertinent thing I could do.
Okay. So you can do that. You'll use that, and essentially he doesn't get quite the hit he wanted on you. You're only going to take 2 points of damage. But he is on you. See, he's angry. He's kind of pushing back. He's got all of the static in his headphones. And you'll see him. Looks like his buddy, you shot him off the roof, and as he's kind of pushing on you, he turns that vibro blade back on as he's pushing against you.
He mad.
Let's cut to our sub-level group. You two, what's your next step? You know that there's going to be guard teams from the level here and above. Are we moving down to secure and start going through those stairwells?
See, Smoke would have a deep voice now, so I guess she'd say, they should be securing our target somewhere now, shouldn't they, if there's activity like this? Potentially.
Should. We
Fortunately,
should head
don't-
on.
I think so also. We need to get into the thick of this. Any thoughts? Where? Just up? Do we
Yes,
follow?
let's look for a ballroom. We're looking for a very important person. They will want to be seen. This is not where they would be.
That seems reasonable to me. So your goal right now is to move up without being spotted and try to locate a significant area that might have your target in it.
Mm-hmm.
That seem reasonable. So we've got two parts to this. One is the sort of the either stealth or deception to get past guards. It's not as difficult because you've pulled some of them off. And the other one is to figure out where that would be, and that'll be an investigate.
I will handle the investigation. You handle getting us there.
So let's start with you then, Christo.
Do we do the other way if we're trying to figure out where to go? Is that what the
Sure.
investigate's for, or is that? And I thought the deception was trying to get there.
Oh, makes sense to me. Well, I'll do it that way. Let's do it that order.
Awesome. Don't want it to be a technology roll, but I'm imagining he'll pull into any of the cam feeds that are visible and just start flicking through.
Okay, trying to get a sense, essentially getting the guards tracking ident to see where they're moving towards, where they're clustering, that kind of thing.
But also
let's
trying to investigate what's the most opulent, most visible, most presentational area, where are people being herded, where are the important folks.
Okay, let's go ahead and have you roll investigate there.
I might not have rolled. I rolled like a ninja because it is all blanks. You don't even see dice. Luckily, though, my investigation is powerful with a 4.
That's a 4. I'm going to give you 2 questions. What's your first question?
Where is our target?
Okay, it looks like on level 4 is sort of the grand ballrooms and reception areas, and also the essentially balcony and floating gardens, literally floating gardens out there, anti-grav flower gardens and area, and they're likely to be in either that ballroom or that balcony right now. So you've got narrowed down to level 4, those 2 major areas. What's your second question?
Okay. My second question was predicated on a more exact answer. So we'll kick it to Smoke. Do you have a second question? What do you want to know?
Can we distinguish our guards from our target's guards?
What do you mean your guards? Do you mean the
So, well, by our guards, this is Smoke, right? So I'm already thinking like one of the guards, I guess, that I'm taking over. So it's so the Steigler's guards, I would imagine we can identify one way, but maybe through the system we can identify other guards. They might show up differently potentially. They might be flagged differently.
Absolutely, yeah. That seems like a doesn't even count as a question. That yeah, you guys can obviously ident those 2 things, and as part of how you tell that they're up there is because there is a cluster of those guards up in those areas of the essentially the non-local guards, the foreign guards.
Do you have another question, Smoke? Because I thought of one.
I was hoping that might tell us which of those 2 areas is where they were. So if we said it was either the ballroom or the balcony.
They are connected, and essentially the cluster is moving right now.
Okay, then no, I don't have what. Can we save a question maybe?
If you want, or if Rich has a question, I can answer that.
Yeah, I think the next question will be is what is the quickest route to get to the balcony or ballroom?
The quickest route actually for you guys, given your skills, is to get to the outside.
Wait a second. Are you going to tell us to get into a plane and then skydive down?
No, we're gonna climb up the outside of the walls.
Yeah.
Is there a dome up in level 4?
No.
Oh, good.
It's a level of the castle. You need to get to the castle walls and get up to there.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Okay.
That sounds easy compared to jumping out of the plane, doesn't it?
Right. I'm glad someone's already done that for us.
All right.
I did think it was pretty cool. I mean, at first I was against it, but that was pretty thick. So
Yeah, you've got a recording of it. So
Well, and I can actually. One of my talents is to ghost ride, so we could say that I actually saw it and I'm telling Mobius it was actually really cool. You really would have liked it.
As we're going up, he's eating popcorn. You don't know where he got it from. Listening intently.
You don't know what this popcorn. Yes, you don't want to know what this popcorn really is.
so Smoke, you want to get you and your compatriot up out the main door so you can get to the wall of the castle and around to where the balcony is so you can start moving up, right?
Sure. Yeah, and I don't know what Mobius has as a means to climb, but I guess he can body shape. But I can spider walk it. So.
Okay. So let's have you make your deception roll to get through without getting questioned, without getting stopped, without creating problems.
Of course.
Now, we do have some other forces arrayed here. So right now, your difficulty is a 5.
And this is the person that has no fate points right now. Okay, here we go.
But you get 2 blank aspects.
It's a wash, but I have a skill of deception 4, and you said I needed to. What was my target? 5.
Target is 5.
Okay, so I need to both create and spend a fate point because I don't think. Do we have any aspects on the table I can use?
I think both of the confusions have been used.
Yeah, they have.
So unfortunately not.
Yeah, there was some other aspect, but I guess it's for escape.
Actually, you know what? Yeah, because Rich did that thing to pull the guards off from these lower levels, and that's the levels you're moving through. Let's count that as an aspect.
Okay.
Essentially, cleared guards.
Do they have the aspect hunting for Deadlord?
Yes.
Yeah, so this could be sort of things like, as I go through looking like one of them, I can say, wait, Deadlord's here? Oh, yeah, I guess I saw him down in the kitchens. And so it's like some of them will run off that way. So we do that.
That's how all the sous chefs died. All right. So you guys will hit the grounds. Essentially, they've got the big gates, and there's the grounds outside, and you can see there's a moat down below, and you'll see of course the snowy ice out here. The castle is sort of with glittering frost snow here, and you can move yourselves around, and you're on the ground level, 4 levels below the balcony. I'm gonna now find out what your duplicitous coiled serpent is doing.
I think it'd be cool if, like, right when you poke your heads up over the 4th floor window, that like that's just like it pops up from the inside. Is that acceptable?
So I would have you roll to get up there because right now they haven't even gotten up to the 4th floor yet. So
okay. Sure.
so how did you? What was your system to bypass and to get up there?
Oh man, now that I have to actually work for it.
Yeah.
Gotta work for the bit. Wow, she's like, people keep mentioning toilets. I don't think I have the ability to squeeze as much as I'm a cool, like, snake lady.
Do the elevator matrix scene where you just hit the pulley and just fly up there.
Oh yeah, is there an elevator system I can find here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a classic low tech type thing of using pulleys and weights and simple tools, and I'll pop in the elevator. It's my plan. I'm gonna go up to the cables and slice one with my ninja sword.
Okay.
Hold on the other one.
All right. So what do you think that the role to do that without raising an alarm is?
Without raising an alarm, I'm thinking stealth is along there as well.
Okay.
I do have a stunt. I'm an alarmist. I have a instinct for avoiding trap sensors and alarms. So I would have a +2 to circumvent those. Would that be an effect
Yeah,
here?
perfect. Go ahead and roll it. That'll give you a +6.
I'm going to do so good, you guys. Daija is so cool. So that's a +1 plus the 6 is total of 7.
Okay, so you'll do that. And as you're sailing up, you'll see the electric I-beams that are crisscrossing for non-elevator things to come up there. And I assume we see you flip, twist, and as you go past them.
Absolutely.
Okay. And you can get up there to that door, get it open, get it set so that you don't raise an alarm. And what is your current hollow disguise?
Right. I think just for the hollow disguise, it has to be like a really like classic like imperial thing because I'm trying to blend in with the guards. So I have like the sort of like I forget the word for that armor, but it's like the folded paper, like laminate armor, you know.
Okay.
Just kind of look like a samurai. Ooh, I have like a cool like samurai mask on that's like a Oni mask or something.
Okay, got the full mask, got that all set up, got bits pieces of practical effects and the hollow. You'll get up into there and essentially start maneuvering through. So you're at one side of sort of the ballroom / balcony. Your compatriots are down below, potentially coming up. And we have right now Anton dealing with the Last Samurai. Anton, this guy seems pissed.
So I'm wondering, can I use, that thing that only worked once with the dome? Like, can I put it on him and then activate it so that I know that it will fuck him up, basically?
Oh, yeah. I'd let you do that as an attack with your technology skill.
Cool. Sounds good. Because I even know that, like, it only worked properly one time or whatever, right? So I just need it to, like, phase out his leg or arm or whatever.
Yeah, you've got the rebuilder, so you can convert it to do something like that. That seems like that stunt gives you the fiction to do that.
Oh, and I got 2 pluses for once in my life. And so with technology, that's 6.
6. So what happens to him?
I think he was in my face, had the vibro sword on,
Yes.
right? He was super pissed. And I do that thing where I unfold my weapon so that he becomes off balance. And when he's going by, you see my hand go like that and hit him on the back with the device, and I turn it on. And then he phases, but only partway through the wall. So he's like, parts of him are jutting out of the wall, and he's just like, messed up.
As it shorts and he's stuck, there's probably maybe a spasm from the body, just one there, and then he'll go still.
Yep.
And you can tell that there are guards. It's level 6. You know that they're going to call up there. So what do you want to do?
I hesitate to do this because it seems like it would hurt me, but I kind of want to fly to the place that I need to go to.
You could certainly do that. Do you want to do it stealthily?
Yeah, I can. It says pick 2 when you fly. Super silent.
Okay.
Carry others. Agile, fast. I guess super silent, and if I need to, if it's a long distance, I don't know. Do I know?
Not going to be a long distance. It's 2 floors, so not too bad.
I guess just fast and super silent.
Fast and super silent. Okay, I'll give you a +2 to your stealth check with the super silent. Let's have you make that roll.
Okay. And I have a 2 of stealth. All right, this will probably be fine. Oh, that's actually not bad. So it becomes a 4, and then with your +2 is a 6.
Okay, so you are weaving your way between. What is the? I mean, is it some sort of wings? How does the nanoswarm help you fly?
It's not like it's sort of like the Jupiter ascending things where
That's right.
they're just at my feet and I'm like skating off of them as they're like the actual things that are propped up in the air, and I'm sort of coasting off of them like rollerblading off the nanos.
So yeah, and you're getting down, and you can get this is a huge balcony with these floating spheres that have flowers and things in them. There's water all around. There are guests out there, security out there. You can land on the edge with that. So you're set there on the edge of that balcony. Let's cut to our master of disguise and Mobius.
Yeah. Somewhat smugly, you hear "in position."
So how are you two ascending to get to the balcony?
Well, Mobius is going to spider climb, I guess.
Okay. So yeah, so
No,
that's
sorry, Mobius. Smoke is going to spider climb.
so Smoke can get up without a problem.
I've spent 2 stress to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I think, right? Oh no,
No,
spider
it
climb doesn't cost me anything.
Doesn't cost you anything.
Got that. So yeah, I could do that. Like just sort of walk up it calmly.
Okay. So he can spider climb up. How is Mobius getting up?
This is a relatively straight shot.
Yeah, you can see balcony. Imagine like it comes out maybe 30, 40 feet actually from the castle wall, up about 60 feet from you.
Oh, that's Mobius will find a small janitor's closet, get access to a number of chemicals, blurt out a few formula, and like a MacGyver, he will hatch a science experiment which will create an accelerant that will basically help him blast off. Effectively, he creates a poor man's jetpack.
Okay. Is it quiet? Is it loud? Are you creating?
It's very loud.
Okay. Then let's have you roll with science.
Awesome. And you hear Smoke into the comm say, "You do realize I could have carried you up, right?"
Whoosh.
Oh yeah. That's a 5 because I rolled neutral on my dice.
Okay.
Fate dice
So,
always roll flat for me.
Yes. So here is our situation. I'm going to set up where we're at. There's a big balcony. There's the floating spheres, probably fountains and things like that. There are maybe a dozen plus guests out here. There's security, a couple of cyber samurai, looks like a Yojimbo. Your target's in the middle of that party. There are others inside. Essentially, Phoenix Kazan and his party inside the ballroom that's attached. Some security coming up to close up on them. Essentially, it hasn't been that long, so they're just now getting the, okay, we need to move valued targets to a secure location. So that's what's going on. And so where all of you are is right now, we have Daija, you're in the ballroom, moving through that crowd as a security. Anton, you're on the edge of the balcony, got your flight thing set. Mobius, well, I'll come by Mobius last here because he's actually going to kind of pull the trigger on all of this. Smoke, you've climbed so subtle, like a shadow moving up those walls. Get to the balcony, get up into, hide behind some of the vegetation, getting yourself set, and then whoosh! There is a flare, a firework, and suddenly this figure comes storming over the edge of the balcony into the midst of things. So let's start with you, Rich. What are you doing? Tell me what happens. You've flown up. You've gotten this quickly homemade. You've got some chemicals on yourself. You found some other stuff, and you've done this jetpack to go up, and you're gonna land in the midst of this balcony with all of these effects. There's security guards there. Your targets there. There's some other catering people and things around. It's kind of a hot mess. You're landing in the middle of it. What do you do?
Trying to play it casual, like I'm part of the entertainment.
Really? Okay. Let's have you roll deception.
Sweet.
I'm going to set the difficulty at a 6 here.
I'm not gonna. I can't.
You can roll.
I would have to basically eat people with my genealogy because I would have to roll 4 pluses. Like that's not even a contest. I'll just fail.
If you get 2, you can get a +2.
Well, the other thing is you can create your aspect right now. You have 2 open aspects, so you can create an aspect that gets you a fate point, which you can then use to.
Aspect gives you a fate point. An aspect activates when you spend a fate point.
Oh, so the blank aspects you've got there, Rich. If you write in one right now, I've got that below Relentless Hunter.
Oh, sure.
Then you'll get a fate point.
Awesome. We'll just go with outstanding performer.
And here is the other thing. If you don't make it, you can say we can do a success at a cost, like you take a little bit of damage, something like that. Those are all things that can happen.
I'm not upset about it. I'm just saying, like statistically, why even roll dice? But now that gives me some options.
A lot of options to push it up.
But do I get a free invoke because I've created the aspect? Is that correct? Because I have no fate dice. Okay.
You get a free fate point.
Okay, cool. I'm now going to roll a lot of negatives because we've done all this work for me to roll dice.
Absolutely.
Pointing that out ahead of time because.
Oh, but then you don't have to spend a fate point.
I've rolled a still fail badly. However, I will invoke my outstanding performer, which gives me a +2 to the base of 1, and then I have a deception of 2. So 2 + 1 is so I miss it by 1 because you said a challenge of 6.
Wait, help him? Help, right?
Yeah, I mean, so how would you assist as you see him rocket again? What do you do to make him not look like an attacker, like he's actually a performer here to show off?
You gotta join his performance, bro.
Yeah, well, maybe if I'm in a hollow disguise, maybe I have a hollow disguise of like somebody who's introducing a performer, and I say like, the show begins now, folks.
Let's have you roll deception to give him that boost.
Okay, I have 3 deceptions. And it's just 3 because it's a flat.
It's a flat. So difficulty is 2 to create advantage generally. So you can do that. So Rich, you come up and people, I mean, hands go to blades. Security falls back. They get interpose here. And you kind of land there. And from out of nowhere comes Anton to announce that the star performer is here. And so both you two are out there. So the tension level is high, but nobody's attacking you immediately. So let me check and see what our Master of Disguise is doing.
So can I see the target? Her name is what?
Right now, it looks like she has 3 of these Yojimbo enhanced bodyguards that have flanked her and moved her back because of this show and because they know that something else is going on. There's been mentioned about an intruder, mentioned that that essentially Deadlord might be operating in the building, that kind of thing. What do you want to do?
So if I'm still far enough away, I want to make myself look like one of her Yojimbo bodyguards.
Okay.
But with like a nasty bruise on the head. if I can do that, and then
Sure.
run up and smack the one that I look like, yelling, "Get away from her!"
All right. That sounds like a deception check. Let's say I'm going to say 6 here. We've got a chaotic situation. We've got them there. Let me check. Ben, before I have you roll, let me see, just in case this will affect what our Daija is going to be doing.
True.
Well, I don't think Daija's dressed up as a Yojimbo. Is she by chance?
You just said you were disguising yourself as a general guard, is how you
Right.
said it before.
So I think I'm just kind of like taking in this whole situation, saying, "Oh, good thing I made those preparations. I knew those loud mouths would do something like this."
So essentially, you're just moving yourself into position and keeping yourself safe.
So I think I'm coming like into the ballroom,
Okay.
and I am kind of positioning myself near the door so that when the time comes, I can help like usher everyone through there. Maybe
Use the elevator shaft as an exit.
Yeah, it's a quick drop down to the sewers.
Okay. Right now, you can see that Phoenix is on. His people are around him. They're kind of moving to protect him. We've got sort of 2 protected groups there. There's noise. There's some people, who are attending, who are like, really? They're not sure how they should be reacting. So let's come to our master of disguise.
So roll, right? So this
Yeah.
is where I pull him by the shoulder, pull him around, and we get into this tussle of like the Star Trek classic Captain Kirk versus Captain Kirk.
Okay.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. I don't believe this. Yeah, so I rolled a -1, but I have a +4 deception, so that's a 3.
Okay.
So what invokes are on the table, if any? I don't see any.
I don't think we have any invokes on the table for you.
And what did I need to get to pull this off?
6.
Oh my gosh.
I will offer you a devil's bargain here.
What's that?
It's that you get into that tussle, but this guy's got, he's a trained Yojimbo, so he has high reactions, and he's going to deal 6 damage to you.
Is that 6 stress?
Yeah.
I'll take it if that means I pull it off, because then it makes it look like I am the real guard and he's the fake.
So this injured Yojimbo comes out of nowhere, rushes up to your target and her bodyguard. They look alike, and then they're both fast, and suddenly they're on the ground. Vibroblade is out. You'll see it cut across one of them, and blood goes spraying everywhere, and people are now pulling back from this chaos.
And Smoke screams, "He hit me with my own vibroblade, the bastard!"
And they're rolling around on the floor. What are you doing, Mobius?
Sounds like they were creating another distraction, and so Mobius is gonna slip away and try to find our target. Obviously,
she's right in front of you.
Yeah, just grab her. I'm still dressed as security. We need to get you to a secure location, ma'am.
Okay. Wait, I thought you were an actor.
That's right.
Wheels within wheels.
Right.
So here's the thing: is she still got 2 of those Yojimbo by her? The third one is down wrestling.
Your Yojimbo has been compromised by Memory Kazan.
Interesting.
Please.
Okay. So I think this is going to be a deception check from you, sir.
All right. What am I checking again?
This is deception. I think you want to try and pull her away.
I do.
Those guards. So here's the thing. Let's say a 3 will get her and her guards to move off with you. A let's say a 5 will have one of those guards stay, and you'll just have to deal with her and one of those Yojimbo.
Could I possibly create an advantage here for someone else who actually
could,
knows
absolutely.
what they're doing?
Yeah.
I'd like to do that.
Okay, let's have you make that deception roll.
All right, here we go. I've rolled a +2 on my dice. Bizarre, I know. And I have a 2 deception.
Okay. So you're up there. Essentially, security orders is the aspect that they're up there, and get that. So the person who's in position to follow up on that is Anton, right?
Yeah. Maybe Anton and Daija at the same time, like a pincer movement. I'll take one side and you take the other.
So let's have you roll your deception to get her off. You've got an aspect, a bonus from Mobius on this.
Okay. Oh, we're being deceptive. Oh, okay. So we're like leading her somewhere.
Because you want to try and get her away from those Yojimbo and convince her to go with you.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, I think I'm doing this by being really annoying because I'm masquerading as the performer, right? So I think I'm overacting and being so annoying that they're like, yeah, sure, come on, buddy. Like, let's just get the F out of here, basically. So deception is 3.
Okay.
And then let's see what happens. Nothing, so 3.
3. Okay. A 3 will get her and both the Yojimbo. If you want to spend the aspect that Rich created, essentially you can pull her and one of these Yojimbo off. The other one is going to try and break up this Yojimbo on Yojimbo action.
Okay. Yeah, because we're essentially herding her towards the person that does look like a guard too.
Okay.
Right? Who has like escape plan ready, right, Daija?
Indeed.
So you're moving them over. There are other guards up here and the security chief. And so you've got that situation. You know that your time clock is counting down. So you're moving them over towards where Daija is by that elevator shaft.
Can I make another aspect and then do fast friend, or can I just do fast friend?
You can do fast friend.
Okay, because I think. Oh no, but it says that I have to spend a fate point though, so I would have to make a new aspect to have a fate point to do it, right?
Yep.
My other aspect is retired police officer.
Retired, like a police officer cover identity. Like you've got a legend for that.
Yeah, that sounds much better. Okay, so I'll just say, what should I write that as? Just like
I just write a police cover.
Police cover. Sounds good. Okay, and then I'll use that for fast friend. And I spend to make a good friend or contact, which might be her.
Well, I wouldn't say her because you can't pick it. But what I will say is you can activate that. You'll see one of the security people here is somebody you know from your cover ident. So you'll see him and you'll wave to him and he moves over to vouch for you.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, "Oh man, what are you doing here?" And he's moving over to help with the pushing along here. Okay.
Yeah.
And so
you're in good hands. This is Inspector Poirot.
Yeah. So they see that's going to stall Kazan's security people from moving because now one of their people is vouching for you. There's the hot Yojimbo on Yojimbo action, which is drawing everybody's eyes. They've moved over towards the elevator shaft. So right now the situation is you need to get this woman's head in a bag and you need to get out of here. And you've got 9 minutes to do it.
Daija, go. Daija, go.
Daija?
So I like pound on the elevator door or button and it opens up and it's just empty shaft.
That's right.
There's no elevator. and then I just kick the Yojimbo into the shaft.
All right. Let's see. I think I will let you make an attack with fight on that, unless you're using some kind of range thing to do it.
Nope, just kicking him right in the back.
Let's have you roll fight.
Wait. Even 3.
Even 3. I'm going to roll for him on this. Okay, this is
the singular Yojimbo that we managed to come with us.
Yes, the only one. Okay, so his base defense is a 2. I'll roll. It's against your 3. So I got a 0. So there's the Wilhelm scream as he goes down the elevator shaft. So your target's like pushing back against Rich, you, and Frazier as she's trying to get away because now her bodyguard's been thrown down the shaft. Meanwhile, let's go back to our disguise. What are you doing, Master of Disguise?
Oh, so am I still fighting that Yojimbo?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, then
you're drawing attention. The other Yojimbo's coming over. He's running scans. You're drawing all this kind of eyeballs. What do you do?
Well, I'm gonna name an aspect. Well, why don't I wait and see if I need it? But my idea, except I sort of want it this way. I'm gonna name an aspect. 10,000 ninja coaches in my head. So this is my mimetic, like the ghost things. So it's all of the. They're all. So I'm in this fight situation. I suddenly have like 5 different ninjas of 5 different styles telling me how best to defeat this guy.
Green style, tiger style. No,
exactly. Exactly. And so, and anticipating, I recognize this style, and the best response will be this. And so, I'm going to be trying to use that to take him down very quickly.
Roll fight.
Actually, I roll deception. I have that stunt.
Oh, that's even better.
Yes, because the idea is that I'm using deception to fake him out because I know his stuff better than he does. I know his every move before he makes it.
Okay.
Because I'm duplicating him, right? So I am him. Hopefully. Okay. Not that my deception rolls have gone well in the past. Hey, what do you know? I rolled a +2 and I had a deception of 4, so that's a +6. And what was the?
Oh yeah, this guy just has a 3. So you roll around. Tell me what that looks like.
So yeah, we're going to be rolling around, and ultimately, I think. I mean, are you saying I take him out?
Oh yeah.
Then what I want it to actually be is that I pull out the monofilament garrote and I take his head off and shove it in the bag. And then, I don't know if I have time to do all this, but I'm thinking of sort of like the ultimate distraction, is that then I change myself to look like our target, Nanami Komoji, and then do mirrors, which is my other skill, and make suddenly massive duplicates of our target.
All right. So for you two by the elevator, such that the net effect is that suddenly there are dozens of your target in the room moving in all directions. But back where you 3 are, what does that look like? She's right there. She's just a CEO. She's a villainous corporate person. You see her going for, she's got a concealed pistol kind of thing. Who is doing the deed?
I'll do the deed.
Okay. And how does that work from you?
Yes. So Mobius reaches down to his belt buckle and he pulls it out, and it's a whip sword. It extends out and kind of locks into place, and then it's beheading.
Okay. And so whoop, comes off. I assume one of you 2 are going to catch it.
The bag.
Okay. So whoop, head goes in bag. You've got the elevator shaft there. I assume that you're going to lead them out, Daija?
Oh, you just muted yourself.
Like double muted myself. Okay. Yeah, you'd be like, I think I just lead the charge by like just diving in.
Okay.
Free fall.
So the 3 of you can dive into the elevator shaft to drop down, even as the body is hitting the floor there. There's all that chaos. I'm going to assume that you've got like an explosive at the bottom of the elevator shaft that blows it out. That'll drop you down into the under floors, so you can, rush and hit the sewer pipes, get into there, get the rebreathers, get into there so you can be fired like a torpedo out by the pressure of the system, out of here. You've got that. So you can do that. My only question is how our Master of Disguise makes his escape. Do you just blend into the crowd?
Of the other 100 targets? Sure.
Okay. So we just see you vanish off into the group, and make your way out.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep. I think that's the easy way out. I also have the skill, always a way out, plus 2 on checks made to create an advantage whenever you're trying to escape from a location. So
oh yeah,
this should be easy.
So even the getting out disguised as someone going, even if they lock down the compound for the next couple of days, you can make your way out, and you guys have successfully completed your mission.
Yeah.
The moral of the story is always wait and draw it out so that we succeed at the end, because we have no time.
So that's where we're going to stop. We have a different mission for next time, a different operation. I hope that was okay. Let's take a moment for Roses and Thorns, because it is a little chaotic here. So let's stop off to do that, if you guys don't mind.
Sure.
Okay. Thorns. Fate's dice are unkind. I'm going to say it before you guys do, because I know it. It is one of the things that certainly my face-to-face group is why we do a different system. We use a card-based system that makes that randomness a little more controllable. So yeah, I always forget that, especially when we have a night where people are rolling bad, because when fate goes bad on the rolls, it can feel very, very bad. Christo, Thorns.
I guess my only thing might be I feel like we didn't get any interpersonal roleplay, as in our characters didn't really get a chance to really do anything and get against or with each other, have those like side conversations.
Mm-hmm.
And considering what these characters are, I think that would be really cool. But when you're with an action-packed scenario like this, I'm not sure how much time we could have had.
Yeah, so this one is definitely built to be the full-on anime action. This scenario, I've got a couple of other scenarios, and I will throw you one that is much more the chance to interact for next time.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I should have been doing many more of the anime facial expressions then, shouldn't I?
No, that's okay, and I think that's a good observation. It is a particular. It is a game that is way action, so that's understandable. Fraser, Thorns.
Maybe the only things I could think of went against like what was happening in the fiction sometimes. So yeah, I think maybe I should just do better next time.
Okay.
Like, for instance, making that aspect of the ex-cop or whatever, when I forgot that I was also already having a disguise on of the actor.
Mm-hmm.
Afterwards, I was like, oh, whatever. But also, it is an anime movie, right? So whatever.
Yeah. And that anime goes a lot to filling in fictional justifications there. Michael?
Yeah, sure. I hopped out too quick. I was like, okay, I want to hit this trouble aspect. I want to make sure I get that. But I was like, I did that like 10 minutes into the mission. Like that was not very impactful. So I think it would have been cool if I'd stuck around a bit more and find some other way to get that trouble in there.
Yeah, I think you're probably right there, and I might have. I didn't want to lean on you against that. I have to think about that when people strand themselves, or at least maybe if I could have given you something more meaty to work with there, so it didn't feel like it was pulling you off.
No, I liked what you did with it. And, you know, having a moment to like have a little bit of characterization and providing the justification for the sort of montaged ending. I think that was perfectly fine. I just think, you know, by myself choosing to split everyone into 3 parties after we'd already decided on splitting into 2, it's like when we have such a tight timetable, that's a little bit tricky of a job to hand off to you. Spotlight.
That's a good point. Okay, I have to think about that. Yeah, good. Rich, let me hear your thorns.
I think a thorn on all of us as a group, if we're going to split up and we want some role play, we can insert that in by communicating back and forth during the mission, keeping in touch with the team. I think there were some opportunities missed there for all of us. Another thorn, my horror Geno colony corruption thing happens. I didn't even get a beat to react to it. I mean, I was kind of sourcing through how he feels about that, but I never even got an opportunity to like we got Smoke saying, "Yep, no big deal," and then we were jumped ahead, and even just like a something, and I should have fought for it. I should have just said, "Hey," and I know you would have pulled back, but I felt swept away, and I was like, "Oh, well, okay,
yeah."
Mobius doesn't react.
No, I think that's a really good point, especially because those things are intended to be kind of character opportunities, and I should have stopped off there, but I let the momentum carry me too far on that. So that's a really good observation.
And last one, I know that we have all watched a lot of anime, and we are very excited to be playing an anime-influenced thing. But I felt like I was watching a game of fucking hockey at times. I don't know the rules of hockey. I don't know what things are called. And so there were times when people were referencing a move just by the name of a movie. Like, that doesn't help me. It confuses me, and sometimes it like pulls me out of the game. I think it's great you've seen a whole series that does this thing, but like, tell me what that thing is doing so that I can imagine with you. Like, I won't get the full cool glossy sheen of what the awesome thing is that you've seen, but if I can get a taste of it, that's very helpful.
I think that's a really good point, and I did that a couple of times without filling in on that. So I think that's fair. That's a good observation, and I think that's actually something that can really enrich what we're doing. If we're fighting,
that's the thing.
So,
like, if I know what it means, it gives me an opportunity to like write down a couple of things. Like, this is some stuff I can go see. But if it's just this jargon thrown out there, it's opaque. It pushes me away, and I know you guys don't intend that. So I'm just telling you my perception of, boy, I thought I'd actually watched a lot of anime, but hell no.
Oh no, Fraser hit. I would say a good third to half of what Fraser said. I was like, okay.
Yeah, we need somebody else to be in this game that's doing captions and subtitles with explanations underneath Fraser's comments.
Like an anime sign language person.
Yeah, or you could just talk Yiddish because it's the same to me.
Okay. Let me do Roses. I appreciate you guys. You guys rolled with it. This is I've run this a lot with 2-hour things at Games on Demand, and it is a situation that requires people to really think on their feet. But I thought you guys did a good job with that, because other times I've done this, the plan never survives. Never ever survives. Yours survived pretty decently. So I thought that was good. So that would be my comment on that. Christo, any roses? Good things you'd like to see more of?
Well, I already mentioned the role play. there's so much in the character sheets. I know people can't see these, or unless you do it with somehow so that they can see them later. I like what you do when you build out pre-gens for us with all the details about what the stunts are specifically, and then you explain that mimetic base means that I have all those historic ninjas in my head and whatnot. And that I think is really interesting, and that gives us a lot of opportunity to play to it. So I really like that. I really like that. I'm waiting for me to have corruption. I really want that. I look at the corruption and think, oh, that's really cool. I want that. So yeah, I'm hoping I'm going to get all pluses or all minuses.
Awesome. Thank you. Frazier, any roses?
Right. Well, I liked everything about that. Like I got so excited about this. That's why I was throwing out jargon. I was like, I do this, I do that, I do this, I do that, because I was just so excited. So it was both maybe a rose and a thorn.
Okay.
And, I got too carried away with what I was trying to do, but also I did get carried away with it. Obviously, I haven't played a game like this before, and I was trying to squeeze in every last drop of cool that I could. So
I will say that as crazy as the Halo jump was, I do appreciate the visual of it. That's very strongly in my head, that the whole imagery of it. Michael, any roses?
For sure. Just right off the bat, I really liked the diversity of the cast. I thought that was super cool to see. Everybody had some really cool characters. Nobody was just like as cool as ninjas are. Like I prefer a unique ninja to like the nameless mob of all black clad ninjas or whatever. So that was really cool to see. This is my first time playing Fate that I can really recall. It's groovy for me. I like the very sort of loose and some of the mechanics. I really liked having blank aspects and then having a incentive to fill them in. I think that was super cool, especially when we're dealing with pre-gens where it's like, hey, not only that you can come in and say something cool, a cool true fact about your character, but also it's going to help you like overcome this role. Was really cool. I think that I mean I hate to throw a thorn in when we're doing roses, but you already kind of touched on it. But like I want to see that same sort of emergent characterization kind of bleed over into emergent like relationships. It's sort of like how we interact. I'd like to see that kind of come into fruition the same way as our characters did. So hopefully in the second session, that's something we can lean towards.
Yeah, well, and certainly let's make sure we lean into that next time. We'll make the story a little more focused on you and a little more relaxed, so you can interact, and we'll see how you are in the field making judgments and interacting.
Yeah, because I know my headcanon's going to be winding up all week. So
okay.
I'm already like, oh my gosh, I bet that Smoke, like, even though she's this master deception, I probably like trust her with my life or whatever, So we'll see that some more. But that was really cool.
Oh, you might trust her with your life, but you might really not like her, because I picture her like, because of her inability to really be herself, I picture her periodically like suddenly becoming you, or you're right, or like a significant other of you. Exactly.
Oh,
so that's
mocking me.
I think that's sort of the interpersonal dynamics we can bring out next time potentially.
Well, that'll be interesting. Okay.
Rich, I'm going to give you last word.
Quellish. No,
How do you spell that?
Quelish.
That isn't how I would spell
that terrible movie that is from. I'm sorry.
I don't know what that is from.
That's okay. It's an activation word for a thing. It's okay. You can probably Google it.
Okay.
I tried to throw you, Lowell, like come up with 3 NPCs, and damn, you rocked it. Those were all really, really interesting. I love the setup, the question and answer period, just for us putting you through the paces for this world. It was amazing how well you could flesh things out and color them and paint the scenery around us. I really enjoyed that. I love that, Michael, did an accent, did a voice for Daja. That was fun. A little slithery snake voice was fun. Christo, you talked about us not necessarily building out characters, but I got a very definite sense of Smoke. You did a great job of talking about how her abilities impacted her personality. I guess I'm gendering her because she normally appears female, so I'm just going to go with that. And it was charming to see Fraser get so worked up and excited. It's nice to see people having fun playing games.
Yeah, we got Fraser to actually live a dream. Is that what happened with that diving through the dome? Is that what we saw here?
I have proposed that plan in multiple other games where everyone says you're just like a crazy, that we're not doing that, and so I finally got to do it.
I want to give one last rose, Rich. As you know, SSX is one of my all-time favorite games, and to see Moby using that image is super awesome. So I think that's great.
I chose not to give him the British accent just because I wasn't sure I could live up to it with all the other crazy stuff going on. So I do apologize that I didn't fully embody Moby.
No, that was a great choice.
I was curious because I haven't played SSX to see like how close of a characterization it was.
Now I need to stop you. There is the most recent SSX sucks.
Oh.
But SSX Tricky and SSX3 are two of the best games ever made.
Yeah,
okay.
They're incredible. They're super great.
So good.
They have this active soundtracking system to where the music ebbs and flows based on your performance, and it's like there's a DJ just mixing as you're playing. It's so cool.
That's wild.
And it's a snowboarding racing game with some trick stuff in it, and I love racing games. So I love racing games that don't require me to be precise, and this does not require me to be precise.
Okay,
so
for sure.
Awesome. All right, I'm going to stop the broadcast.